Hey, it is October, and it's Friday, and so we're here with the news. And there is a lot of stuff going on. I hope to get to all of it. Oh man, last week I promised to get to slide stuff, and I still never got to it. Michelle, it's coming up, I hope, soon, but not today. A lot of really interesting things happen. It's October 2nd here, and I guess the first thing is we may be changing the day of the news. So don't be surprised if, well, we're going to. Not sure if it's going to start next week yet, though, or not. So, it probably is, if I have enough to say by Wednesday. So, my schedule's changed a little bit, and it's getting a little tougher to get them done on Fridays. So, that's what's going to happen. I hope everybody can live with it. I want to talk about a lot of things today. One of them is, this is a terrible place to start, because it's just going to be like my selfish. Had a really interesting gig last night. It happens once a year, and it's for a bunch of, it's up at a really fancy hotel in Menlo Park called the Rosewood, and it's just sitting outside playing background music for 80 or 70 or 80, 60, 70, 80 people, I don't know how many, having a really nice dinner, and they have me there for like 4 hours. And I gotta tell you, it's hard. Usually in the past I've done this with other friends. Suzanne came last year, and the year before, Ben and a mandolin player showed up. Anyway, so kind of, because it's so long, because it's 4 hours, I frequently would round up other people to help to spread it out. So I started thinking about songs I might know. How much stuff could I really play off the top of my head? And I did start putting a list together. I even took it with me because, so in a couple of days, I started this list, and pretty soon it had about 50 things on it that I thought I could play. Now some of them are ones that then I realized I'd forgotten ones like, and then I ended up playing a bunch of stuff not even on the list. At one point I went into, and even stranger, I don't know how this happened. I might have been playing Like a Hurricane. I was messing around, this probably came out of Angie, and all of a sudden I started doing this. And I thought, well, you know, nobody's paying attention, I can do whatever I want here. So, I started messing with this. Anyway, went on for a long time, and I had a lot of fun. Can't give you the whole, but anyway, because after playing for a few hours, and of course taking breaks, the mind was wandering. I played some really hard stuff. And the only song, and this happens every time, the only song that ever gets specific attention is this. because most even casual music folks, listeners, would know that. And sure enough, somebody came up to me afterward and said, God, I love Classical Gas. It's my favorite song. You did the best version I've ever heard. Well, it was really nice to hear that. What else did I play? A little Beatles. And what can lead me into this week, it's been a long time since this is when I started making the list of stuff, I started thinking, oh man, I got stuff like just songs I don't play too often. Here's one of them. But it's fresh on my head, you know why? Because that was one of the things that happened this week. We all of a sudden dug up a completely different version. Hope everybody got a kick out of that, looking at Eric Clapton's version of Over the Rainbow, which I guess is going to lead me into what else came out new this week, and that was, let's see. Oh, we finished up Nexus. That was one thing. We had, and I already alluded to the updated fly on the wall that we had with Ed looking at St. James Infirmary, and thanks Lynn for the mention that was Arlo's version. I think you're right. Now I went and listened to it a little while ago and I thought, yeah, what a cool version, bringing in the C and the F chords, and I hope you guys got it from what I just played right there. But I could add a little chart to that if the demand is there. What else? We had a couple of reviews. Vanessa did a review on Marc doing the Joe Bonamassa song, and got to Scott's version 3 of Ruby's Eyes. That was pretty cool. Let's see. What else did I want to talk about? I was thinking mostly about just playing, but oh, great stuff on the forum, the thread about the map. Jason, I'm glad you brought up the map thing because updated it, because I remember when that map worked, and I couldn't get mine to work the other day, but as we were talking about taking IGC to Europe, I thought let's check the map and see who all we have in Europe. I was glad to hear a few people weigh in from our British contingent, David and Andy. And David, speaking of which, the latest tune with 85 instruments in it, or tracks at least. Really good. I mean, you guys are, this has just been really fun to watch, and keep it up, and hopefully maybe we will have the first TG release party somewhere down the line. So, Michelle, appreciate your weighing in about the camp, and I tell you, if you're in, I'm in. Oh, well, anyway, I'm in anyway, so hope you can make it. Speaking of the camp updates, we will have a lot more details probably in about a week as to where we're going there, and we already told you the time and dates, or the dates at least. The last week of July, ending on Sunday the 31st, I believe. Probably starting on Tuesday too. We're thinking about having one day off for sightseeing because we're going someplace. We're not 100% sure yet which place. We're looking at a couple different possibilities, but I will tell you it will be warm and sunny, so that means you can probably rule out a lot of spots. And yes, that means Dave and Andy, sorry, we're not coming to the UK. And Tom. So these are the kind of songs I broke out last night while I was playing. I'll tell you a little bit more about that because, man, I was fried by the time it was over and had to pack up the equipment and stuff. But it was fun because it did give me a chance to play through a bunch of songs that I hardly ever do. I dug out some really old ones of mine. Some that I even played this. Makes an okay instrumental even without the visuals of Rebecca dancing. That's other stuff that we had this week. We had a couple of acoustic snapshots. I hope everybody enjoyed Doug's concert from camp, and we and yes, got a chance to see the Hogan girls in action, working on doing Landslide. So that was really a treat for me. I had no idea that they'd been even working. Well, I'd heard talk of them working on things, but hadn't heard anything going on around the house. So that was really neat. Hope everybody enjoyed that. Next week we may have another member of the Hogan family. If we get to the Friday note, no, Corey played Saturday night. So we'll be bringing out the rest of that. Let's see. Snapshots, reviews. I think that's it for the updates. I should just pick one of these tunes that I hadn't played, that I like maybe even never played for you guys. Did some of the classical stuff. Played a little John Fahey. Played Man's Fate. I put Water Song on the list, but I never got to it because just didn't want to take the time to go into tuning. Oh, here's one that. So I also shut up and play. Spacier ones that I have enough songs left. I should be making another album or two. I think I've got like two albums worth of new stuff since the last one I did was way back in 2003. Another song I never even got to last night. You know why? I have to play for a really long time. I gotta pace myself, so I played a lot of slower things, and I was even getting little sore tendons and stuff in various spots from playing, but it's always a great excuse for me to be able to dig through the archives of the repertoire. So, okay, I think that's it. I will be back next week, possibly on Wednesday. If not, it would be the next Wednesday. So we'll kind of see what happens. But I think that's it. Gave you some of the... one last little detail on the camp thing. It was really interesting to see how many people who've been to... How many of our alumni would be thinking about going to Europe. Don't forget, we're still doing two. The California one is still on, so we're not doing the Europe one to replace it. We're hoping that it just gives a lot of people a chance to, by being a different time of year and a different location, get a few more people in. So anyway, I hope to have... it'll probably be a week and a half till we have big details on that. But those dates are pretty well set. So if you think you can get to Europe at the end of July and spend 4 or 5 days with us, it'd be really cool. Okay, do we know any other Arlo Guthrie tunes? See you soon, either Wednesday or Wednesday.